We'll talk about the criminal justice system is featured prominently in the throne speech. This question is from Chris in Waterloo, and he writes, since research has shown that mandatory minimum sentencing does not deter future crime, what makes you, as Prime Minister, believe this is still an effective way of prosecuting criminals?
Well, I think the view of the population of Canada on this issue is actually pretty clear. That when serious crimes are committed, people expect the penalties to match these crimes. And obviously, you know, for 40 years, our criminal justice system was going in a very different direction. We were, you know, there were these arguments that told people somehow if you don't punish criminals, that crime will go away. I've never quite understood the philosophy, but I think people understand that that approach has not been effective. So we have been, since we've come into office, trying to make sure, trying to toughen up our laws and make sure that crimes are appropriate. You know, for example, we think that if people commit serious crimes, violent crimes, we don't think it's appropriate that they would serve their sentence at home. What's called conditional sentences, effectively house arrest. We don't think it's, and we don't think it's appropriate that very serious or repeat crimes would not be subject to at least some kind of minimum penalty, minimum prison time. I mean, surely, if a crime is serious enough, a murder charge, for example, there should be some prison time for a murder charge. So these are the kinds of changes we've been making over time. They've been very well supported by the Canadian public. I don't want to say crime is out of control in this country, but we do know that there have been some very worrying growth areas, particularly if you look at the areas of guns, gangs, and drugs. And this is a growth area not just in Canada but around the world. It's an international phenomenon. But we do think it's very important that the criminal justice system send a strong message that such behavior is not acceptable and that it be appropriately punished, and that those who engage in such behavior understand what the likelihood of punishment actually is. Because what we do know about deterrence is it doesn't work unless people are actually certain they're going to get punished. But if you create a system where there's always a loophole and you can always get out of the punishment, or the punishment can always be downgraded or forgotten, then it's clear that kind of a system does not deter people.
Because it's not credible.
It's not credible. It's not credible. I think, I'm not an expert in this area, but I think the evidence suggests it isn't the length of the punishment that matters, it's the certainty of the punishment. Okay? And if there's no certainty you'll be punished, then no possible penalty will matter. So that's why we think it's important to actually have a minimum penalty for serious crimes.
Thank you for that answer.